Well, hello. Yeah, so by now you've probably seen the men's soul chat where we talked about taking a connection and changing it into a relationship. I behaved.
Taking a connection and making it into a relationship.
It's a thing. Or making a relationship into a
To take
connection.
you into a connection.
Um, what's your take on
I
it?
mean, I guess I guess
Are
I
you
guess,
guilty of trying
I
that too?
guess I've tried it both ways. Um,
You really kind of have, haven't you?
yeah, I
Oh,
have. Um, when we're with somebody and we really are either infatuated with them or we feel we're so deep in love with them, or it could be a number of things, right?
yeah.
Um, a lot of times it's obsession, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, then the fear of losing that person comes in, right?
Right.
Um, no matter what the circumstance, the fear of losing that person comes in, whether it be um, that person's leaving or there's a big breakup, whatever. Um, and what happens is oftentimes we lose our damn mind. That's what happens. And that's where like stalking can come in. Um, let's see, sugar and gas tanks. Um, it, you know what I mean? That
The
carry
obsessive behavior.
obsessive
What?
behavior, and then oftentimes we start looking for something that will click in them. Like, wait a minute, what's that? That's weird, right? So we go looking.
You mean like looking for their buttons?
Yeah, we look.
Oh. And that's in relationship or in connection?
Usually, it's always in relationship. It's
Yeah.
never in connection.
No, in connection, your buttons get pushed.
They really do.
You don't get a choice either. But in a relationship, you learn to push somebody's buttons while not showing them that they can push yours. In connection, all your buttons get pushed
Right.
and you have no choice.
Connection's way different.
Yeah.
Relationship is relationship. Let's go with the soulmate reference, right? Um, it's really, really, really hard to have a relationship in connection, but it can be done.
How?
It can be done.
Okay.
I
You've
think
got
so.
you've got me. You've done piqued my interest. How?
We do it.
Well,
We do it.
okay. You're gonna have to help me understand how we do
We
it.
are clearly in a relationship.
How?
We are together 24 hours a day. We are partners. We're intimate. I mean, we are clearly in whatever some type of relationship.
It doesn't feel like that.
No, it doesn't feel like
Okay,
that
wait a
because
minute.
we're connected.
That's it. So, I feel connected to you. I'm no good at relationship.
I'm no good at relationships either. Clearly.
So if we're clearly in a relationship, I would be backing away, wouldn't I? Because I'm no good at
I guess
it.
it
If I'm telling myself I'm no good at
I
it.
guess it depends on what's in the forefront. What's being nurtured, the connection or the relationship. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I feel you can be completely connected with one another, right? And I mean, to say that, I feel like to say that you can't have relationship and connection would mean that everybody connected wouldn't be able to be together. And I don't think that that's true because we are clearly together as twins. Other twins out there may not be able to be together and they're okay the connection's there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The connection's always there. The connection never goes away, right? Relationship, you can destroy, right?
Okay.
You can destroy a relationship. You can break off a relationship, right?
Okay.
You cannot do that with connection.
Right. But what I'm saying is, we kept trying to have a relationship and a connection. And follow me here, just so that I'm, because I think I'm experiencing, I feel I experience it differently. We kept trying to be together in the beginning, that kept ripping us apart, trying to make our connection into a relationship. When we finally came together, it was because we gave up relationship just to have our
We
connection.
focused on the connection instead of the relationship. In the beginning, we were focusing on the relationship.
But the focus really meant surrender. We had to surrender to the connection and try to, what we were trying to do was have a visual of what the other person was to each other,
Right.
which was causing all kinds of conflict, trying to force a relationship. Instead of just letting the connection be as it is and be connected to you and accept you for who you are and let you accept me for who I am. That's how we came together. There was no relationship in that.
Still hard.
Okay, I'll bite. Why is it hard, Cherry?
I don't know. I've only been awake for about 30 days.
See, that's bullshit. That's a cop out. it you know, it's like
do you
this.
feel you cannot have a relationship and a connection?
Oh no, hell no.
Really?
No. Because my relationship to myself was so poorly damaged, I never learned how to have a successful relationship with anyone else. That's why we kept having conflict when we kept trying to come together and force a connection that would have,
But it's not like that now.
because I gave up relationship. I gave up relationship because I'm better at being connected to myself to be connected to you than I am in a relationship to me to be connected to you. That I was sucking at that really bad. And you were horrible at it. I mean, I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm not judging you, I'm just telling you the truth. So it's like, if we really look at what I'm saying here, I was tired of fighting being connected to you, and I realized I had created a relationship that was trying to tell me otherwise, that I could do something different in the connection instead of just letting the connection show up the way it's going to show up, and not expect you to be what my mind wanted to create in connection or relationship. Because I was never going to let you connect to the way I thought, to become what I wanted. That would have been a relationship. I wouldn't have been accepting you. I would have been having an image of you that most people really struggle with. Like, you put somebody on a plateau in your mind, but then when they show up, they're not showing up the way that you envisioned. So I was realizing that I was doing that, and I was creating this relationship that was disrupting the connection. Because I needed to feel you. I couldn't have a thought that was going to show up that could connect to that feeling. That feeling is connection.
Okay.
Thought is relationship.
Okay.
That's how I view it. That's not maybe how you view it,
Well,
or
how do
probably
you-
anybody else.
How then do you explain, right? It's very interesting. How do you explain when somebody's watching this video and they're like, yeah, the connection, I've been watching you guys for a long time, the connection's there, but there's an obvious relationship with one another, because, we're married, we live together, we share our lives, right? Clearly you have a relationship with Gemma. That's our dog. And Craig and Mike. You have a relationship with them. You have some type of relationship with me.
No.
Really?
Yeah, no, I have a connection. I realized that when I had relationship, it was dysfunctional. Because it was more,
Well, it would sound to the public like it would sound like what we're doing here is I'm doing me and you're off doing you, and we just kind of coexist. We don't
No.
talk. Wait, wait.
Oh.
We don't talk. We're not intimate. We're not, you know what I mean? We don't have a relationship, he's saying. So that's not what I want with my twin. I want with my twin the connection and to be able to be together, whatever we call it. To be able to be in each other's presence, right? For long periods of time. Is that not appealing to you?
No, that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Okay, so you're saying that you never wanted to be with me, and that other people that are out there watching this don't want to be with their twins, because they're out there and they want that connection, but they want to be with that person as well. It would seem that you're saying that that's not possible when we're both sitting here, right?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a relationship with me,
Right.
we wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't be. I promise you.
Really?
I promise you.
Oh.
If you were off doing what it sounds like you're doing,
What does it sound like I'm doing?
you know what I'm saying?
No. I don't know
Okay.
what you're saying. So here, let me give it to you this way. Anybody who comes into this house or has come into any place where our energy field is feels there's a bond.
Right.
The bond doesn't necessarily communicate the way human beings want to, who like to have relationships. It's connection. You accept me for who I am and how I feel and what I'm going through. You don't come in to disrupt that energy field. You accept it fully. Tell me one relationship on the planet that does that.
It's a different.
No.
Okay.
It's not a relationship. It's called connection.
Okay.
Okay, you tell me how it's not.
Okay. You're always right. Okay. I mean, what you're saying is
I'm saying that I've sat in my feelings and I've stayed.
okay.
If I go to my head, I turn this into a relationship and you don't know me at all and I keep you out. Because that's what I learned to do with relationship. I always used relationship as an escape. I could walk away from everything I felt. When it came to you, my feelings stayed. And I had to choose between avoiding my feelings for the rest of my life and not being with you and having all of these other relationships around it. I had to choose. And when I finally chose, I chose how I felt about you and I stayed connected to you in that way. Everything else my mind wanted to make up would try to destroy it. Would try to tell me I wasn't good enough for it. Would try to tell me that I should be out there not letting my feelings all sit in one place because I would get hurt. That kept happening to me early on because I kept thinking that way. That's when I had relationship and then I realized I needed to disregard relationship because I was allowing you to hurt me. When we finally settled into that, connection showed up and I decided that that feeling, if I didn't let my head get involved, grew. It didn't need me to get involved in any way in my head because I was accepting of my feelings and staying connected to how I felt about you. I could turn it into a relationship, but that would create separation. It doesn't mean that I've never been triggered into it. It just means that I realized that that's what comes to me inside of relationship that doesn't come to me inside of connection. That's my explanation of it because that's how I've been in it.
I may have a different explanation of it because for me it was more of a merging instead of a breakup, instead of a I had to get rid of, if that makes sense. To me, it's all about where are you driven from? Are you driven from feeling or are you driven from your mind? So when you wake up every day and do whatever you do, your morning meditation or whatever, I try to, I'm not perfect, obviously, but try to not live in thought that day, right? I'm not going to live in thought, I'm going to live in feeling. To me, that's connection. I'm feeling him, I'm living and feeling. I'm not living in my mind, and if I have a mind thought, I quickly remove that mind thought, right? and I go back to feeling, right? What am I feeling? Do I feel him? Is he there? What does he need? Um, all of these things. I'm always feeling and trying to turn off the thinking, right? And to me, that's the difference in relationship and connection. So when we're together, having dinner, sitting on the couch, walking in the kitchen, in bed, whatever we're doing, right? If I'm not thinking, I'm connected. If I'm feeling, I'm connected, right? If I'm in thought, then to me that's where it turns it, right? So instead of having to say, you know what, I had to say screw that part of me, right? And get rid of it, I simply merged. I merged the two where now I know the difference in connection and relationship.
So what is the difference between connection and relationship?
Feeling and thought.
That's kind of what I said. I'm saying it. I'm just saying it differently. I'm saying that connection is feeling based. Relationship is thought based.
Right. But if
people were watching, they would think that
they would think that I am doing my thing, you are doing your thing, and we have no relationship where we talk, where we are intimate, where we coexist, where we decide where we're going to get, what gas station we're going to, or what we're going to have for dinner, or what we're going to buy so and so for Christmas, or who's going to make the bed, or who's going to do the dishes, or who's going to get the oil changed in the car. Those types of things are relationship.
Well, no.
So if we didn't have relationship, those types of things, a fairy would come and do those things.
I get what you're saying.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
There's no fairy that comes and does our oil for us.
Here's the thing that I feel differently on, is that even when you were ill and weren't able to do videos, they felt you in every single one. Do you know why? Do you think it was because they were wondering if we were intimate, if we weren't, how we were talking, or if the garbage got taken out and who did it, and who did the floors that day, or who cleaned the bed, or, who screamed and had the most orgasms the night before? Do you think they all were sitting in they felt you because they felt connection.
Right.
Now, all of the things that we're talking about, just our daily lives.
Relationship.
Connection. That if you're experiencing relationship, that's probably where the conflict could come from.
I'm saying
the conflict is going to be in you, because I don't. When you look at me and you go, he's thinking this, because we talked about this. The men in the men's chat, we talked about how we're feeling something, and then you tell us what we're thinking, because it seems to happen to a lot of us. We're not thinking the way that you're telling us we feel. Your thinking doesn't tell us what our feelings are. It's not even nowhere in that vicinity, but yet it's still about that. And it's like, yeah, no, because everybody's experiencing that. And it's like this big aha that your thinking and your relationship to your thinking is severely wounding you and making me in the connection responsible for it. That is what relationship will get you.
I'm not saying that relationship wouldn't destroy things.
Well, it can't destroy the connection.
Right. So what I've done successfully, right, is be conscious and know the difference, right? I know that if I'm thinking, right, and I'm thinking negatively, or I'm thinking at all, right? I'm looking at you through relationship eyes.
Ouch.
And if I'm feeling I'm looking at you through connections eyes.
Right.
Right? So I still feel that it is possible to have a relationship inside that connection if it wasn't possible, we wouldn't be doing it.
Well, well, I'm just gonna have to let you have your side, but I don't have that side. And it could be now. I won't have that side not because of you. I won't have that side because I suck at relationships.
Well, I do too. Clearly, I do too.
I've gotten closer to you because I gave up relationship.
So, my question is, who do you want a relationship with?
I don't want a relationship at all. I want a connection.
Okay, so
No, I need connection. I don't want relationship anymore. I used to want relationship, but I realized that's dysfunction.
oh, so you don't have a relationship with anybody.
Name one person I have one with.
I mean,
You know, you're with me. You would know.
I mean, do you have a relationship to your daughter-in-law?
No, I have a connection to her. She's my son's mother, my son's fiance, and my grandchildren's mother. I will have a connection to her for as long as I'm here,
Okay.
and I
But
value
there's
that
no
connection.
relationship.
No, I have a connection to her. I realized I'm much more open and easier to connect to in connection. In relationship, I'm in my head. I won't even. You told me before, and you said it. You said it very clear. You said you're really unapproachable, and that was because of the relationship I was having with myself.
Okay.
So I gave that up, and it made it a lot easier for me to connect more dots because I just said, you know what? I know I'm no good at relationships. I'm good at connecting. I'm great at connecting. I'm good at connecting a huge dots. But when it comes, I would rather focus on something I'm great at and good at than what I'm not. And I know I'm not good at relationships. So when I really looked at that, then I looked at where I had learned relationships from. I learned relationships from watching my parents and their relationships with people that came into their lives when they were no longer together. So my ability to have relationships was always going to be wounded. Every relationship I had thereafter, every partner I had thereafter was based on those. Nothing was ever based on connection. And then when connection came along, when you came along, all of that just felt empty. Because I didn't realize I could feel something and be with somebody and have a feeling in me that I didn't have to protect. I was allowed to be in. Relationship makes me want to protect myself. Relationship doesn't want me to open up and share myself. It never has. So if I have a relationship mindset, you're going to find me very disconnected. I don't know how to interact that way. I have like with even our buddies Wes and Rachel. I have a connection to them. That's why I can be like free with them. But if you notice, I'm free with people I feel connected to. I don't have that with everybody.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? And that's not something I had. It wasn't something I had to learn about myself. It was something I had to accept about myself. But then when I started really talking to people, I started noticing the same patterns exist in each one of us. Our relationships come from broken connections from our childhood. Every relationship you ever had something to do with what broke you in your childhood. Did you see how your head did that?
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand that.
So when we have to force a relationship into our connection, that brokenness shows up. And I kept noticing that. And then I realized...
I don't feel it's forced at all.
What?
I just don't feel that it's forced at all.
What?
Like, the relationship we have, I don't feel like it's forced.
How do you feel it's a relationship? Because relationship doesn't have feeling, does it? Does relationship have feeling for you?
You know, what is the definition? Let's look it up.
Okay.
Let's look it up because hang on. I'm looking it up.
Somebody said earlier, why don't we just call it connectionship? And I said, see, that was brilliant.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
But, relationship means relating to. It doesn't never say connecting to.
Let's see. Let's see what this means. It means the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. The study will assess the relationship between unemployment and political attitudes. Is the sentence.
Hmm. But what's stronger to me is the word connection. Once I, because when we're younger, we learn relationships, right?
Right, but can't you get better at relationships?
Well, here's the thing: we learn relationships because of what we didn't have in connection.
Well, right, but then we learn in connection what we didn't have in relationship.
But then you never believe that you can have connection because you've learned relationships. You never. If I really look at it, if I would have felt something as powerful as I did, as I do for you, earlier, in a different space with multiple people, that's connection all the way through. But there was no such thing. It never even entered my mind that somebody could feel what I was feeling, or that I could feel what they're feeling, and it be so strong. That never entered my body or my thought patterns at all. And once it did, my mind wanted to force it into those columns that didn't make sense with being able to explore what those feelings were about. It wanted to isolate those and put them in a box and then protect myself from them. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that to me is relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's what relationship represents to me. In my body, that's what happens. So when I met you, it was a connection. It was like bam. I was like, what the hell is this? And maybe I can turn somebody into what this is. Because what if you're not going to check off all the things that I want? I can go check it off over here and then make that person have that. It don't work like that at all. And you reach a point where you go, and I think a lot of people that we talk to have reached this point where they're like, I can't be with anybody else. Because you literally get to that point where you're like, I can't have anything if I don't have that feeling. And then you have to realize, wait a minute. If I can't have that feeling with anybody else, when have I ever had that feeling for me?
What happens to the person?
It's like,
What happens to the person who has an amazing relationship to themselves?
this connection comes along and wrecks that shit. You've seen it. This connection, because you can have no, think about it. I had an amazing relationship to myself. I was able to get away with complete murder. I swear to God, I could get away with anything. And it could disappear and not feel a thing. I could stop talking to a person and not feel nothing. That shit got stopped dead in its tracks when I met you. I was pissed at you for it. I'm serious, man. When I was calling you a witch and all that, I was being dead serious. I was like, I was telling me somebody put a hex on me. I mean, I had dreams like you were sitting around stewing one of those things with a whole bunch of other witches, and y'all's coming up with a spell on how I was never gonna get out of this, and I was gonna be stuck for the rest of my life just fucked up. You're trying to talk? That happened to me. I used to dream shit like that, and then I just realized, no, I had been able to disconnect from my feelings. And you could walk right inside of me and go, this is disconnected. Why is that disconnected? That's what it felt like. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why are you in here? And why are you asking me what's disconnected? That's how I first started out. When you would ask me questions and I'm like, you get out of here. You're not supposed to be in here. Nobody comes in this room. And it was like, it didn't matter what door I had. Whatever I had blocked in me, you walked right in and was like, what's this block about? And you would ask that question 25 different ways. Drove me fucking nuts. Wasn't even right. And then even when she wasn't talking to me, it still felt like she was doing that shit. I don't know if anybody else gets what I'm saying, but that shit sucks. It's like, will you leave me? You're saying this shit in the air Does something, or you're even saying it to yourself inside. You're looking at yourself in the mirror going, will you get out? Get out. I don't want you in here. Why are you in here fucking with my heart? You literally, you didn't have that conversation in the mirror?
A bunch. Yeah, a whole lot.
Well, that was your relationship to yourself. You saw that, right? You weren't connected to yourself when you were trying to get me out. You didn't. We didn't get connected to ourselves till we accepted that the other person was in there. Isn't that weird?
That is, yeah.
But that's why it's so important people understand you're masculine and feminine. Because you were in the masculine, a part of which I had cut out of my life. You had to be very strong in your masculine to be able to get me to respond to connection. That's the truth.
I can be yawning.
Yeah.
The second I get in front of the camera.
But it's great to have you here. We're so happy.
I would love to hear more opinions on relationship and connection. And can you have a relationship and connection?
I woke the sleeping monster.
Because I believe you can. He believes you can.
Well, I have a question. Do you believe that if you have a relationship and connection, you can do so without wearing a mask?
If you have a relationship and connection?
If you have a relationship inside of a connection, can you do so without wearing a mask? Meaning you're going to state everything you think.
I thought you weren't thinking in connection.
Right. But that's what you're saying you can do in a relationship. Relationship's thought.
I'm thinking...
Who do you expose your thoughts to? How's that connection?
I feel like definitely I can pour my emotions out either in relationship or in connection, as you know, with you, because I'm connected to you, but I still feel that we have a relationship.
You have to help me understand how we have a relationship.
I mean, I've already done that. If we
It felt like you were talking connection still.
If we didn't have a relationship, we wouldn't be running out together to go to the grocery store or deciding what we're going to do for dinner.
But
that is a verbal relationship.
May I ask you a
We
question?
are having a relationship.
No, for real, dude. I gotta say this though. Even if you don't go to the grocery store, do I still bring you what you want, even if you're not with me?
Well, yeah.
Okay, is that a connection or relationship?
That's definitely connection.
Okay,
But
so
you're
when you're
still-
going with me, it just
Okay.
no. When you go with me, it's a glow I get to have,
So you don't have a relationship with one person.
sweetie. I don't have.
You don't have a relationship with anybody.
Man, I suck.
Well, so do I.
I
We
suck
both do.
at relationships.
Yes, and so do I. We both do.
I'm no good. Now, here, see how judgment just came in? No, I'm serious. That's what happens to me in relationships. In relationships, I'm always going to be judging myself before I even get to the other person, which shuts down my feelings. It's always happened to me in relationships. I can't think of one relationship where I didn't feel like I had to shut myself down somewhere. You've experienced me doing that. Mm-hmm. And you experienced a whole lot of up and downs in the connection because I was doing that. How often do you experience that now?
Rarely.
So what I'm trying to tell you is rarely is because I don't seek relationships. I know what connection has done for me. And I know what it could do for other people. And we've got this ideal in relationship that comes with a set of rules and conditions that connection is going to break no matter what anyway. So I guess
Can
when
connection be broken?
No. Unfortunately, that would be like saying that once the cord was cut from your mother, that you weren't connected to her anymore. It's impossible. Once you feel connected to someone, You can cut a cord, but you also have to cut the belief out that once you were cut from the cord from your mom, you weren't connected to her anymore either. You can't get rid of one belief system to change another. It just doesn't work like that.
Right.
This connection, the connection can remain. If we go to our heads, we can go separate ways. That could happen.
If we get in our heads.
If we stayed in our heads and tried to, like if we were like in our heads consistently all the time in this connection, we probably would have torn.
Well, that's my
we did that in the
point.
beginning, though,
That's
didn't
my
we?
whole point. That's my point. Is that we clearly have relationship inside of connection, but we live in the connection. We don't live in the relationship. So that was my whole point. We don't have to live in the relationship. We can choose to stay and live in the connection, right? However, when we do things that require our relationship to step up, like what's for dinner or what are we going to buy at the grocery store, those types of things, right?
You know what I love?
I need that.
I know. I get. Now I understand what you mean. Okay. So you're saying the connection has priority over relationship.
For sure.
But what you've done is you've changed how you view or what relationship means to you has changed.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Possibly.
Because you're stuck in relationships, but the things that you keep bringing up are things that I didn't really consider it. I considered it part of the connection, but you're right. I guess maybe that would have to be. But I guess when you look at those things that we do together like that, this kind of like, when we used to talk about sitting in the rocking chairs in an old folks home and being together and that kind of thing. I consider that part of that, which is connection to me. So like doing these little things like going to the store or cleaning the house together or doing, or sitting down and watching TV together. Those things I feel like I do those things with you because I love you. I love being with you. I don't like not being with you. In a relationship, I'd feel like, okay, is she happy with me? Did I make her upset today? Did I do the right thing? You know what I mean? I'd get into that, and then you'd be like, where are you? And I kept going, why does she keep asking me that? And then I realized, wait a minute, am I trying to really put the rules of relationship in this connection? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But we don't do that now. We have what you're saying. We have what you're saying, which is we do. It's not like we float on
Right.
clouds. We do,
Right.
but we ground ourselves too. And we do things like normal people. Because we are normal, but we're connected, which is not normal.
Right.
Are we?
I don't know if I'd label us normal.
No. No, my bad. Fuck.
We're not normal. How long have we kept them for?
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
My God, you made it
We're
39
so
minutes
sorry.
and you kept on topic. You didn't
I
go, what was I talking
I
about?
only yawned
Do you know how many
twice.
times people have said, oh my God, she can she's not saying,
Only
what was I
yawned
talking
3
about?
times.
Well, you're yawning, but you guys.
Had a long day.
That's 32 days, 33 days out of getting a liver transplant.
Transplant.
Yeah. Doesn't she look beautiful?
We'll
She's
update you a
back.
little bit for those of you who don't know the details. I'll make it real quick too.
Do you want to do a different one? Oh, okay.
So sick. And the phone rings on a Friday about 3:00. And it's the surgeon, and he said he had a liver for me, and he wasn't 100% sure for me to stay by the phone, and it was a Hep B positive liver, and stay by the phone, and if it's a go, then they were going to schedule my transplant for 3 a.m. So we waited around, and the phone rang about 5. And it was the coordinator who said, we need you up at University of Cincinnati around 7:30 or 8. And my whole body froze. And yeah, I still don't know how I felt that day. It's hard to explain. I really felt nauseous on that ride up 75, down 75. Really felt nauseous. And so we get there, and everything was a go. And I got into surgery about what, 2:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
About 2:30 a.m. and 5-hour surgery, right?
Yep.
Altogether, or just the first one?
You had 6 hours the first surgery, 3 hours the next.
Yeah. So they did the initial transplant, and then put me in recovery. And then how long after that?
You were on life support for about 17 hours.
Yeah.
And then they knew they needed to go back in.
Mm-hmm. So I clearly don't remember any of this.
Because and just so you guys are aware, she's been off the you've been off the medication, the pain stuff. She's been off for probably about 10 to 12 days clear. So she does remember she's told you all this.
Oh, nice.
But that's okay. It's a quick recap.
It is a quick recap. So nevertheless, I get up there, I get my liver, and I'm 30 days out.
You're 33 days
out. Today, I got my staples out yesterday.
Yeah. How many staples?
50.
Zip.
Yeah, my grandson thought it was a zipper.
He's looking for the latch. Oh, I'm sorry to stop it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to see a neuroscientist to I think that's what they're called. I don't know. To get an assessment to find out if there's any permanent brain damage going on from all the ammonia that flooded my brain and the serious episodes that I was having. So we'll be doing that. Had test today. I have to have another surgery on my bile duct. So we're going to wait tomorrow for them to call with that schedule. And here we are. I have to have lab work. It was Mondays and Thursdays. It went down to Mondays now.
Her rejection medicine is accepting the liver.
Yeah.
It's making that possible.
Yeah, my rejection medicine seems to be doing fine.
Man.
It's just this bile duct that they had trouble with. The second surgery was actually to go in and repair the bile duct. Because once they had the transplant done, there was a leak in the bile duct. So they had to go back in and repair the bile duct. And then reading through my notes and talking to the doctor yesterday, I do not know anything about my donor yet. I am writing the Life Center. They will send the donor family a letter. It's up to the donor family whether they send anything back or not, or whether they want to have a connection or not.
Or relationship.
So, anyway.
They have a connection already, whether they wanted it or
right.
not.
So, right. So, but come to find out, it just is a little bit disturbing to me until I really get the answer. But I am 3 times the size of my donor. My daughter is almost 30. She's half my size. She's a little thing. I do not know if my donor was an older child, a teenager, or a young adult, or an older adult who had just lost a ton of weight and was super sick. I don't know. yeah, I just don't know. But I do know that I am 3 times the size of my donor, and that's a little bit disturbing to me. But it made sense when she explained it to me today with the size mismatch. You know, they had to do some special work during to do that bile duct, and it's constricting. It's closing up. Therefore, it's not allowing any. Well, some obviously because I'm feeling fine. Um, it's not draining the toxins properly. So the labs are off. They're up and down, and it looks like they're gonna have to go in and put a stent in. So maybe do some other surgery. I don't know, but we'll keep you posted. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling okay. I have good days and bad days, but mostly good days. Um, I'm on these stupid steroids that just keep me shaky inside, really, really bad, and swollen.
I feel it. It gives me anxiety.
It's horrible. Yeah, heart beating fast, real shaky inside. It's not cool.
Just like you can pass out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to eat everything, but I don't. um, Other than that, I mean, it's been a long 2.5 years, 3 years, really, guys. It's been really rough, and yeah, I just want to thank you for hanging in there with us, with him.
Yes.
But yeah, I will be back. I just don't know when. I've got a couple more months of hard recovery.
And we'll try to do as many of these. You know,
Yeah, we will.
yeah, because you know you guys miss her doing that to me, don't you? You
I-
really miss it, don't you? Yeah, I know. I kind of got away with myself, but yeah, she reels me back in.
I will start in the next probably month or two, popping in from time to time session. Um, I'm on a ton of medication,
Still.
a ton.
Yeah.
So in the mornings I take around 22 pills, and in the afternoons it's like 7, and in the evening it's like
18. 16, 18.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm either sleepy or there it is. Most of the time I'm sleepy. But then during the morning and afternoon hours I'm not so much. But the steroids just keep my heart beating fast. It's really horrible. But other than that, everything's fine. I got a new liver. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, and you guys know the drill.
Yeah. Like this video, share it, subscribe.
All that.
30-minute
Thank you guys
Recap.
for
coaching,
for
all that stuff.
trusting Lee and keeping him busy. That was important to me in 2 ways. You know, this is our livelihood. It's what we do, and also I really felt like it kept him busy and not so worried about me as much, if that makes sense.
For me, it was as long as I kept focusing on healing was going to come back to us, and it did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
And there's still more to do.
Yeah. More to do.
Yeah, because it was worth that much.
We're in a much better place than we were in even a year ago.
Yeah. Different setting, but you know, everything changes for a reason, and I think the reasons that it changed is because something more magical is coming.
We didn't know if I was going to be here. We just didn't know. I mean, I was under hospice care, so we moved closer to the hospital, and
Lost the Yellow House.
the Yellow House is
It was a dream, but for me it was. I didn't want the Yellow House if I didn't have you. So, and it looked like I was, it was like, nope, we're just gonna have to let go of the Yellow House because I
Yeah.
want you.
I didn't want to die and you still be there either, because I didn't want you to have to handle all that, by yourself. I just didn't want you to be stuck in a position where you were
I wouldn't have. Here's the thing for me. I want to be where you are, and if I was there, and you weren't, I wouldn't want to be there.
right.
So, it just made more sense to be closer. Number one, to a hospital, because we were 40 minutes away.
Right.
That was a bit much, and that was way too scary. We're 4 minutes away from a hospital now. So it's like I had to pick my battles. But not only that, it was like, no, I know that what we dreamed is still here. I know it is. I know we're not. What we want to do is still going to be there. And we're going to have something that we'll build ourselves. How about that?
Yeah.
You in?
Oh yeah.
All right. Like I said, we're going to build a mountain. We might as well build it. No,
A mountain?
Yeah, we built a healing mountain, and look at where it got us. Why can't we just build a mountain and just make it another healing mountain, or make it something even bigger? Connection mountain, maybe?
I'm real good at making mountains out of molehills.
See, this is why I don't like relationship, because all of a sudden I want to go to my head and be like, you damn right. And I didn't. I'm just kind of going, yes, dear.
I used to be so good at it.
I love you.
I love you.
Do you? Even if it's a connection, not a relationship.
Oh my God.
Bye.
Opinions, please.
Yeah, go ahead. Throw some comments down.
Throw some opinions down there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them.
If you really think that's something, maybe you mind if I do something a little crazy?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't know what he's
How about this? Why don't we do a tell-all? Kind of like where we host.
Tell all.
Anybody who wants to be in the discussion for connection, join. Anybody who wants to defend it for relationship, join. And we'll be the moderators of this tell-all, where we can figure out what's more important to you. Or what do you think about having a connection and a relationship, or a
Are you
relationship and
hosting a
connection?
debate?
I mean, if I'm not trying to make it like men versus women or anything.
It won't be.
But it may be, maybe we just need some connected ones to come forward and really kind of speak about whether you can have relationship and connect. Because I still feel like you know what I'm saying when I'm saying we have a connection.
I do, but I completely.
You're
get what
you're being
saying.
devil's advocate for them, and when you do that, you throw me off. But
Why?
Lee, oh boy, did I miss that. But no, I know why you do it, and thank you. I missed you.
I'm not always right. I'm not, and I'll admit it.
When was this video recorded? What date, year, time is this? It's
I mean,
11:40
December 1st.
December 1st. What did you say again?
I said I'm not always right. I said it.
On that note,
I said
we
it.
love you. And if you
Okay.
guys want to do this debate, come on, let's do it. We'll talk to you guys soon. We love you.